Hello all, welcome to the video. I am Dr. M Nithya, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Dr. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. In PPT 1, in lecture series, we have to see the population sample sampling. Now we are going to see the types of sampling method. Why the sampling method classified into the two types? It is based on the sampling structure. The types of sampling means the sampling strategy in research vary wide across the different discipline and research area and from study to study. There is two major types of sampling methods, probability and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling means it is also known as random sampling. It is a kind of sample selection where the randomization is used to deliberate the choice. Each member of population has a known change of being selected. Non-probability sampling means that techniques are used by the researcher deliberately picks the item or individual for the sample based on non-random factor such as convenience, graphic, availability or cost. In detail, probability sampling method. There is a wide range of probability sampling method to explore and consider. Here are some of the best known options. In this video, we have to seen only the probability sampling method. In proceeding, after that we have to see the non-probability sampling method. Let's see the probability sampling. It is have the four types. Type 1, simple random sampling. Simple random sampling means every element in the population has an equal chance to being selected as a part of sample. It's something like picking name out of the hat. Simple random sampling has been done by the annoying the population. Example, by assigning the each item of or person in the population number and taken to the picking number at random. The pros and cons of simple random sampling. Pros: simple random sampling is easy to do and cheap, designed to ensure that every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. It is reduce the risk of bias compared to the non-random sampling. Cons: it is offer no control for the researcher and may leads to unrespected grouping being picked by the chance. Next, in type 2, systematic sampling. With systematic sampling, the random selection only applies to the first item chosen. A rule then applies so that every nth item or person after that is picked. Best practice is to sort your list in the random way to ensure the selection would be accidentally clustered together. This is commonly achieved using random number generator. If that not available, you might order your list alphabetically by the first name and then pick every fifth name to be eliminated bias. For example, next you need to decide your sampling interval. For example, if your sample will be 10% of the full list, your sampling interval is 1 in 10, and pick a random start between 1 and 10. For example, 3. This means you would start with the person number 3 on your list and pick every 10th person. This is called systematic sampling. It's have pros and cons. First we have to see the pros. Systematic sampling is efficient and straightforward, especially when dealing with the population that have clear order. It is ensure a uniform selection across the population. Cons: there is a potential risk of introducing bias. It is there an unrecognized pattern in the population that align with the sampling interval. Next type, stratified sampling. Stratified sampling involves the random selection within the preferred groups. It is useful method for researcher wanting to determine what aspect of sample are highly correlated with what is being measured. They can be decided how the subdivisions it may be way that makes the sense for the researcher. For example, You want to measure the height of the student at a university where the 80% of the students are female and 20% are male. We know that gender is highly correlated with height, and if we took the simple random sample of 200 students out of 2000 who attend the university, we could by chance get 200 females, not one male. This would bias of our result, and we would underestimate the height of the student overall. Instead of, we have stratify the gender and make sure 20% of our sample, 40 students, are male and 80% of 160 students are female. It is also have the pros and cons. Pros of stratified sampling. Stratified sampling enhances the representation of identified subgroups within a population, leading to more accurate result in population. Cons. This method requires accurate knowledge about the population, and its design and execution can more. It is more than other methods. The final type, cluster sampling. Within the cluster sampling group, rather than the individual units of the targeted populations are selected at the random for the sample. This might be a pre-existing group such as people in certain zip codes or students belonging to the academic year. Cluster sampling can be done by selecting entire cluster, or in case of 2 stages of cluster sampling, by randomly selecting the cluster itself, then selecting the random again with the cluster. The pros of cluster sampling is economically benefitable and logistically easier when dealing with the waste and geographical disappeared population. Cons. Due to the potential similarities which is cluster, this method can be introduced a greater sampling error compared to other method. Thank you.